Hello everyone, BenJammin's here, bringing you another movie opinion. Today, Dracula Untold. I saw this movie with my friends the day it came out, which was, Friday the, 10th, I believe it was? Yeah, the 10th. We were excited to see this movie for quite a while, because it looked so bad. Yeah, this movie looks so terrible, so me and my friends were just like, it looks so bad, we want to see it. And we did. And here's my opinion of it. Alright, so let's start from the beginning. The plot. It tells the story of Vlad the Impaler, who becomes Dracula, the vampire, to defend his country, Romania, against the Turks, who are invading. And that's pretty much it. He's also, dealing with his personal issues with, his family and his son. I also want to point out something a little later on, but anyway, that's the plot. It's not really much to complain about. I mean, I'm not too familiar with the origin story of Dracula, so I think it's alright. I mean, I know Vlad the Impaler was a real person who Dracula was based off of, but, you know. In terms of the acting, it's okay. There's really nothing special about it. It's really not that bad acting, but it's really not standouts. At least the characters, you know when they're angry, you know when they're happy, you know when, they're just boring at times. And, and there really isn't too much, really bad overacting in this movie. It's not like in Hercules bad, oh no. Or Nicolas Cage, for that matter. It's fine. What's not that great, however, is the overall presentation of the movie. Everything about this movie is just so melodramatic. It's just ridiculous. Just every time an action scene goes on, they play it up like it's the most epic thing ever. When Dracula is fighting off a bunch of enemies like Dynasty Wars, 1 versus 1,000. It's so cheesy. He turns into a bunch of bats, just flies around them, and just swings 3 swords around at a time. It's so melodramatic, it thinks it's epic. And at this one point where someone is falling down, Dracula's trying to save them, it slows down and plays this little chorus, which is like, oh, I'm sorry if I botched that, I'm a really bad singer, but it thinks it's epic, but it's really not, it's just melodramatic. And it's all kind of stuff like that. It just makes the movie laughable at times. There were times in this movie when in the theaters, me and my friends would just laugh at how melodramatic it was. There's this one part where Dracula just punched a guy and it fell right into the camera, and just me and my friends were just laughing out loud. No one else in the movie was. I think we were the only ones who laughed at all. I think someone even shushed us at a time. Yeah. And the thing is, because the movie's just so melodramatic, it's just so distracting at times. And the CG is CG. There's not really much to say about it. It's not that great, but it's not terrible, so, And of course, the action sequences, as stated before, are just super melodramatic, and they think they're so epic, but it just comes off as laughable. I did kind of like the final battle, though. I'm not going to spoil what it is, but the final guy Dracula fights, I do kind of like that. But other than that, every other fight is just laughable. And, it's just... Oh yeah, and then I mentioned this movie loves using bats every time. Dracula, when he runs, he turns into a bunch of bats and just zooms in. And there's this one part where he summons a whole bunch of bats just to dispel an army. And me and my friends were just like, that is the opening scene of Batman Begins. Played over and over again. Which it really is. If you think about it. That's really the whole gist of what that action scene is. And I guess some other things that kind of bothered me. The portrayal of the Turks. This wasn't me, however, a friend of mine, and 2 actually friends of mine, felt that the movie's portrayal of the Turks was racist. I can't exactly comment on this myself since I didn't really notice it, but it's just something to point out, and it could offend some people. And another thing, I don't know if this is it, but isn't Dracula's son supposed to be Alucard, also a vampire? Just one thing to note. I mean, I'm not sure if that's true, but just something I got to note. because, well, yeah, I don't even know anymore, but this isn't going well. I should probably wrap up. This movie was laughable to watch, and it was funny, and because of how melodramatic and awful it was, that part really overshadows everything else. Like, the acting, the CG, plot, everything about this movie is which makes it really average, but the melodramatic action scenes and just everything about it just makes it really bad. And though you probably will enjoy this movie if you like really cheesy, over-the-top action movies which don't make a lot of sense. Like, I swear there are times when a character dies and then reappears later on. There's that about the movie. And, there's not very good lighting. It's really cheesy and over the top, as stated before. The movie is not very good, honestly. It was pretty bad, honestly, as a movie, just because of how cheesy and melodramatic it felt. It thinks it's epic and thinks it's cool, but really, when it comes down to it, it's just a mediocre action movie with hilarious stuff, which makes it, honestly, really bad. But it was enjoyable to watch because of how melodramatic it is. Like, if you're a fan of movies that are just so bad they're funny, Dracula Untold is probably a good thing for you. This and The Legend of Hercules are the best movies of this year that fulfill that category, you know? So, I'm kind of torn on what to give this movie as a rating, because honestly, it wasn't a very good movie, but it was enjoyable. So, I think I'm going to do one of two things. I'm just going to give this movie the rating of, in terms of a movie, and in terms of enjoyability, it's a dime. Yeah, I favor enjoyability over actually being a movie, but still, the movie was not good. It was a bad movie, but it's still enjoyable. So yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.